Spurs fans, sooner than later, we're going to find out when our Spurs draft this year. And I got to tell you, just thinking about it makes a little bit nervous.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Happy Mother's Day to any moms that are watching. Welcome to TSR Sports. I wanted to do a quick video here with the NBA draft lottery results right around the corner. Of course, I'm going to go live for that. I got to go live. I'll probably go live a little longer than normal because I'm going to want to talk to you guys about it. I want to talk about Victor Wembanyama. I've done a lot of videos on him, but I want to talk about what I think is going to happen or what could happen with his career. Worst case scenario, best case scenario, and then what I think is going to happen if he ends up playing not only in the NBA, but for our team too. While I'm doing this, drop a comment down below. How pumped up are you about Tuesday night, finding out where we pick? Are you nervous at all? Are you freaking out like, oh my gosh, what if we pick 7? It's the end of the world. Hit that thumbs up, like, support the channel. It's fast, free, fun, nutritious, and delicious. And subscribe for more Spurs content. All right, let's get into this. What are the point in this video, TSR? Well, Victor, the hoopla, just the crazy amount of stories you're seeing on how he could be like the next big thing in the NBA, the biggest touted prospect since LeBron James was, what, 20 years ago? Well, I think his career is going to go one of three ways, and it's the purpose of the video. The first one is the worst case scenario. If you don't know who that is, don't feel bad. You probably shouldn't. But I do, and I'm sure many of you as well. That is Greg Oden, who was drafted with the first overall pick in the 2000 NBA draft by the Portland Trail Blazers. And knee issues absolutely wrecked his career. He played in the NBA seasons. He played in the NBA, Spurs fans, 7 seasons. And the reason I say 7 is he missed an entire 4 seasons in that meantime. So he really only played 3 seasons. And in those 3 seasons, he played 105 games, averaged 19 minutes a game, 8 points per game, 6 rebounds, and about a block. So when he was on the court and playing, he was okay-ish. Problem is he could never stay on the court and stay healthy. Should be noted, Kevin Durant was drafted immediately after him. So Durant could have been a Portland Trailblazer, and that, of course, totally changed the trajectory of the franchise. Do they still end up getting Dame, back when they drafted him, 11 or 12? I don't remember. Does he still end up playing with the Blazers? The Blazers end up having a 1-2 punch with Kevin Durant and Damian Lillard? That'd be crazy if that happened. Or what if KD just had left by before Dame even, his name was even available in the lottery because, he does around things a little bit more. But hey, who knows? Who knows? That's all just, what if. So this is the worst case scenario. And I don't wish this on any NBA player. Not with all due respect to Greg Oden, his body just could not handle it. And we're seeing this now with Zion Williamson. These guys that carry a little extra weight. He was 7 foot, I think 250. He's a big dude. Anyway, hopefully that's worst case scenario. So what could be next? Well, this is absolute best case scenario. And if you don't know who these guys are, what are you doing here? And unless you're really young, then that's okay. If you're like a 5-year-old Spurs fan, you're like, yeah, I kind of recognize those guys, but I'm not really sure who they are. Okay, I get it. But if I have to explain to you, this is the best case scenario. I mean, look what they're holding, for crying out loud. They're holding championships. The best case scenario, of course, for the San Antonio Spurs or any NBA team is that this guy has a very healthy career, plays 15 to 20 years, wins not one, but multiple titles, maybe a league MVP here or there. This is the absolute best case scenario. While D-Rob did have a little bit of injury issues later in his career, he still accomplished a whole heck of a lot. And of course, we only had Tim Duncan, 5 championships, multiple MVPs, finals MVPs. This would be the best case scenario, and if we were to get the number one overall pick, this is what we're hoping for. A Tim Duncan-like career, or a David Robinson-type career, or somewhere in between the two would certainly be okay. So this is the best case scenario. But I don't think the first worst case scenario or the best case scenario is going to happen, Spurs fans. I see him actually falling somewhere kind of in the middle between having some injuries, maybe not the longest career, but being very productive when he's on the court. So whose career that I kind of see him, the trajectory for me, is maybe a Yao Ming type of career. Yao was 7'6", drafted in the first pick overall by the Houston Rockets in 2002, and he was in the NBA for 9 years, but it should be noted, the second to last season, he didn't play at all, and then his very last season, he only played 5 games, although he did make the All-Star team that year. That being said, in the 7 seasons when he was on the court playing, well, he played every year, but he did miss some substantial time near the back end of those first 7 seasons. He was a 7-time All-Star, averaged 19 points per game, 9 rebounds, and he also made 5 All NBA teams. Should be noted, none were first NBA All Team selection, second and third, but respectively, he still made All NBA teams. And he ended up being a Hall of Famer. Now, some people might question that because of his longevity. Maybe he didn't have the numbers, etc. Hey, it is what it is. He was crazy popular. Maybe that helps. But this is where I see Victor Wembanyama kind of landing. Because he has that crazy size, but he's really thin, I give him about an 8 to 12 max year career in the NBA. Just my take. I hope I'm wrong. Hopefully, he has a very long, productive career, whether he's a San Antonio Spur, help us if he's a Houston Rocket, whatever it may be. But I think it's going to be about 8 to 12 years, which would have him playing till right around, 27, 28 to maybe around 30, 31. And I think if he stays, continues to produce and evolve and ends up being the player that the analysis think he can be, he could end up, and hopefully should, based on what we've been reading, be one of the best players in the NBA in that time. Now, granted, you might say, well, if we draft him as TSR first overall and we only get him 8 to 12 years, is it really worth it? Well, let's say he is drafted by the Spurs and plays for 12 years, where I have him maxed, if you will. I have him in that, more than Yao Ming, clearly more than Greg Oden, but not as long as David Robinson or Tim Duncan. He plays 12 years to San Antonio Spurs. That is going to be during the prime of Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, Malachi Branham, and whoever else is on the roster. I'll be right in the prime of a lot of our young guys right now. And if they were to draft Victor, if we get him first overall, we'll find out Tuesday, if they win, and then there's a lot of ifs, and that's, hey, listen, the whole NBA draft is going to be ifs, because we don't know who's going to be the best player in that draft. We don't know who's going to be the worst. If Victor ends up being the best player, and then the big ifs are, you draft him first overall. If you last 12 years, would it have been worth it if you win 1, 2, 3 chips? Yes, probably worth it even if you just win 1. I mean, I hate to bring this guy's name up, but Kawhi Leonard, you guys all know, trade happened, and he only played with the Raptors for 1 year. Are Raptors fans upset about that, though? I'm sure he wish he stayed, or maybe not because of all the injuries he's been having. But he still won a title. 1 year, won a title. Any player that's going to bring a title to your franchise, even if it is just one in a decade, that's something. And not only would he bring if he can bring a title to the franchise, he's going to bring a lot of eyeballs to the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs would get on TV substantially more. ESPN would be covering left and right. They would finally get, back in the spotlight. Well-deserved spotlight. A team that was criticized heavily for being boring during the Duncan era. They played great defense. They played great fundamental basketball. Sorry, we won a lot of games. If you don't like it, suck it. I don't know what else to say. So that's all I got. Just kind of want to talk a little about Victor, where I think the trajectory of his career is going to be. And, gosh, I just hope the Rockets don't pick first overall. Oh, boy. We'll find out Tuesday. I think I'm going to go live at 7:30 Eastern. We'll find the results out around probably 8:15, 8:20, 8:25. Who the heck knows? It'll be about an hour stream or so, but it's been a while since I've gone live, and I really want to talk to you guys about the draft and share in the agony of defeat or in the thrill of victory, whatever it may be. I'll be here, and whew, I'm nervous. I know it's just a sport, but Spurs run through my veins, man. And getting the first overall pick, we're gonna have such a possible high reward but high risk with this guy. We'll see. That's all I got. Thank you for tuning in. Again, happy Mother's Day to any moms that are in there watching the video. And as always, go Spurs, go!